Hello and welcome, this is Edoreld and I'll be taking a look at the latest changes in GregTech. So let's get started. Alright, so first of all let's take a look at the wrenches that have been added. We've got the iron wrench, the bronze wrench, steel, tungsten steel, electric and advanced wrench. And the electric wrench and bronze wrench were before from the Industrial Craft mod, but GregTech has added its own versions. And how they work now is they have a durability value that you can see at the bottom of the tooltip, and for example here it says 200 out of 200, and if you use the wrench to take a machine off, that's gonna take 10 points off the wrench, and if you use the wrench to rotate a machine, that's gonna take 1 point each time you want to rotate it. If you use these tools to hit mobs, you're gonna lose 1 point of durability only. So that's how these new wrenches work. And there's also been a change to how the active machine detector works. If we put it on a machine and we scroll through its functions with a screwdriver, we're gonna see that there is a new mode that's called ready to work. And basically this mode is gonna output a redstone signal whenever the machine is not processing any items. And since it's not doing it right now, then it's emitting a signal. If we put some chrome dust, for example, it's gonna stop emitting a redstone signal because now it's processing some items. If we keep scrolling with a screwdriver, we've got the inverse mode of that, which is not ready to work, which will emit a redstone signal from the cover side whenever the machine is already processing something. And that's the new functionality of the active machine detector cover. Not only do we get new wrenches, but we also get a new tool, the hammer. The hammer is used for many things. It can, for example, turn lamps on and off. It can rotate blocks, like for example chests. It can also toggle the state of a machine. It can make them be enabled, in which case it will work normally, or disabled, in which case it's not going to do anything, even if you put ores and energy in. And the hammers can also be used to craft plates. It's a low tier alternative to the plate bending machine. Here. But as you can see, it uses 2 of an ingot to make a plate. So you're gonna lose 1 ingot. Talking about plates, many of the recipes in the game have been changed to now require plates, for example circuits or machine blocks. So yeah. And that's how hammers work. As well, these hammers, the advanced ones, not the rubber hammers, can also be used to work with mine factory machines. GregTech ores have received a facelift. Let's take a look at the blocks here. We've got galena ore, iridium ore, ruby, sapphire, bauxite, pyrite, cinnabar, sphalerite, tungstate, sheldonite, olivine ore and sodalite ore, and that's apparently what they look like now. So yeah. Alright, before I show you the multi-block generators, I want to show you a new tool called the electric soldering iron, and it's crafted with refined iron, an electronic circuit and a RE battery, and that's used in conjunction with soldering lead and soldering tin to repair and maintain multi-block generators. Alright, last of all, let's take a look at a whole new concept of generators, the multi-block generators, of which so far there's only one. And this multi-block generator is actually a gas turbine which can produce energy out of gas like methane, and then you're gonna need for it a bunch of new blocks. These input hatches, output hatches, maintenance hatches, dynamo, muffler and large gas turbine, which are not craftable yet, but they will be at some point. But if you want to test this out for yourself, you can go in creative and get yourself all of these blocks. And one possible way of building this multi-block structure is like this. You're gonna want a 3x4 base of reinforced machine blocks. Then you're gonna need at least 1 input hatch, 1 output hatch, and 1 maintenance hatch, as well as the turbine on one of the sides, and then a muffler because as the description says, it outputs the pollution and the gas turbine generates pollution, but I don't think that's actually completely implemented yet, but you will need it anyway. And then at the other side you're gonna need a dynamo hatch, and that's the structure itself, but this is not gonna work right off the bat. You're gonna need to do some maintenance. As you can see, there are several issues outlined here. To fix them, you're gonna need to get yourself a few tools and go to your maintenance hatch, which is on the other side. And these cannot be automated. You're actually gonna need to drag your tools into the slot here and left click, and then you will have fixed one of the problems. And if you use all 6 different tools, then you will solve all the issues and your gas turbine will be ready to go. And it will tell you so. It won't show you that there are any issues. It will just say hit it with a rubber hammer to restart the machine if it doesn't start. So before we do that, we're also going to need some rotors, and it's not an item that is in the game right now, but GregTech, to test it, he's using Railcraft Rotors, these ones here, but he will add his own rotors at some point. And before we put it, let's take a look at the input hatch. This is actually going to need something like methane, which is going to start store up to 10,000, and it's going to give you the empty cells. And when the turbine starts working, the output hatch will give you water cells and will output them here if you put some empty cells on the input side. And we're gonna see that in a sec. So now when I put the rotor in, this should start working right away, but why don't we get ourselves a way to transfer the energy. Now the dynamo hatch is gonna output a EU per package of 0 to 2048, depending on how you set up the structure. And let's just transform whatever comes here to 512 EU per packages. Oops. And then let's get a reader. Alright, so anything that this generates through the dynamo hatch is going to go into the MFSU through packages of 500 EU per P. And yeah, let's put the rotor in and see it in action. Now if it doesn't start right away, you're gonna wanna right click with a rubber hammer. And right now the texture for the rotor blades turning is disabled, it's not enabled, it's missing basically. So you are not gonna be able to see that working. But we can see the MFSU is getting some EU. And if we take a look with the reader, which we of course lost, we're gonna see that this is generating 0 right now. There you go, 1024 or 1000 EU per tick, and that's what it generates by using this setup. So that's the multi-block gas turbine, and you can see that it's generating water cells here out of your empty cells. Alright, so those were the latest changes in GregTech. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time.